Hey everyone. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about the film The Call. And the film The Call is basically about a 911 operator. She must confront a killer in order to save this girl, the actress Abigail. Now, this film is starring Halle Berry, Morris Chestnut, Abigail Breslin, I think that's how you pronounce her name, and Halle Berry's wig. That wig, oh, okay, I'm gonna talk about her wig at the end. So, a couple things that I dislike about this film were it was too predictable. I can't stand movies that are so predictable. I really can't. I already knew how the story was gonna end. Well, it didn't end. I knew how it was gonna end, but I didn't know it was gonna end the way it ended. It was so bad the way it ended. So I have a list of things that I really didn't dislike about this film. Okay, one was when she went to go find the killer. She went to go find the killer. She found where the killer was at, which was like in a dungeon or cave or something like that. And she found him. I was like, okay, you found the place. Now you can call 911. She didn't call 911. She was about to call, and then she dropped her phone. And when she dropped her phone, she lost the signal. And I was like, ah. And then when she lost the signal, she went down there to get her phone, and then she's like, let me go see what's in this dungeon wannabe cave. She started looking. She found it. I was like, this is too much. I'm like, once she found out, I would have ran back on the ladder and called. She was doing too much for me. A second thing was in the beginning. Sorry, I have spoiler alerts. I should have put that in the beginning. Oops, my bad. So, one of the first victims was hiding under the bed. The killer walked away, and she was still on the phone with Halle Berry's character called Jordan. She was still on the phone with her, and then I guess they lost a connection, or somebody accidentally hung up. And when the phone went off, Halle Berry's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. What? And then she called the girl back, the victim back. And when she called her back, that's how the killer knew where the girl was at. So he heard the ring, and he went back to get the girl. And I was like, really? She needs to get fired because of that. It was her fault on that part. Second thing, she told the killer where she knew he was located at, and she knew his name. And I was like, why would you tell him that? I wouldn't have told him that. I would have waited. That was irritating me. Third thing, the bedroom scene. Okay, so Abigail, I wish I knew what was her character's name. But Abigail, she escaped from her killer. She ran into this room, and then the guy turned on the light. He said you shouldn't have saw that, and the girl's crying. He's like crying. I'm like, is it a dead body in the room? Is it a skeleton or something? And then when Halle Berry went in the room, it was just a bloody bed, like huge blood stain, and a mannequin with a scalp wig. I thought it was a dead body the way they made it looked or sounded. I was so irritated by this movie. And the ending. Now, this killer, he always had like a known line. Every time he killed someone, he said, "It's done. It is done." So when he called Jordan, Abigail bitches, and he's like, he said, why are you doing this? You don't need to do this. And Halle Berry closed the door and said, "It's done." And that was the ending. I was like, really? That's the ending? I was so pissed. I can't believe that was the ending. And then, what else happened? What else happened? That's all I can remember. That's how you know I didn't like this movie. This movie was so predictable. I thought when Holly and Abigail said they're not going to tell the cops where he's at, they just locked him up with chains and duct tape. I was like, so you mean to tell me it's going to be a sequel to this bogus ass movie? I was so pissed. I was so pissed. This movie was so bad. They said it was a drama and thriller. I consider this movie a comedy and a thriller. I never talk in the movie theater, but this was my first time ever talking in this movie theater, and it was so. I was just cracking people up because when they showed how the guy looked, I thought the guy, the killer would look good, like he was fine. He was ugly. I screamed out the theater. I was like, ugh. He was so ugly, so ugly. One of the symbolic messages in this film, I guess the American flag, because she finally got justice for the victims. And the second one was, of course, the cops. The cops didn't know how to solve the case, period. I'm like, it took Halle Berry to solve the case. The evidence was everywhere. The cell phone on the ground. It was like a sheet covering up the dungeon cave, and it was dirt. I'm like, they wasn't looking? What were they doing? They sucked. That's a symbolic message. They were lazy and they sucked. Overall, I give this film a C because it was a comedy. It was a good comedy. It was very funny to me. Very funny. And, if it was a drama and thriller, if they consider drama a thriller, I give it a C minus. If they consider this a comedy and thriller, I consider this a C plus because it was very funny. Yes. And let's talk about Halle Berry's wig. Now, the whole time I was watching this trailer, I just kept staring at her wig. It was so bad. They could have made it round. Oh, they could have just used her regular hair. It was so bad. I kept staring at it the whole time. When it first came on, I was like, damn, that wig. That wig is bad. Not in a good way, in a bad way. It was so bad. Every time she came up, the wig. My friends, my sister, we were like commenting throughout the whole film. The whole audience was commenting. Every race, it wasn't just black people, it was every race. Every race was commenting about this film. And that's about it. I really didn't like this film. Sorry, Holly girl, that film was horrible. But I do want to see The Great Gatsby because they're showing the trailers. It was this one trailer. I can't remember what it was called, but it looked pretty good. And there was another film with Woody Harrelson, Isla Fisher, I think that's how you pronounce her name. James Franco, younger brother. I can't remember his name. We're just going to call him Franco. And the guy from Social Network and Zombieland, the main character, he's in this film. And they're like magicians and they're robbing banks. But I really want to see that film. And The Great Gatsby because I got to see my boo Leonardo DiCaprio. Yes. But this movie, The Call, was bad. Really bad. I did not like it at all. No. Sorry. Well, that's it, you guys. Next review, I will talk about the Django and Shane. I still have more reviews coming up, but don't worry. I'll be back. Bye.